Okay, hi everyone. In this video, we're going to start to talk about the history of the universe. So, where are we in outer space? And how do we come to know things that we know about the universe and its history? So, the first thing I want to do is have a little disclaimer, and this applies to the entire unit. So, there are many different beliefs about the origin of life and universe in the beginning of time. I'm not saying that one is more valid than the other. I'm just saying that this is a science class. So in this class, we're going to discuss the idea from a scientific standpoint and look at the one that is most supported by scientific evidence. So for the purposes of this class, you will be expected to know this scientific reasoning and explain the point of view. Does not mean you have to believe it, but you need to understand it and be able to explain it. Okay, so I want to start by kind of getting us situated and having an idea of what we're talking about when I say the universe. So, the universe is basically everything. It's all space, matter, and energy that has ever existed and ever will exist going into the future. Now, our universe is ginormous, literally way bigger than you can probably even imagine. So, it has 100 billion galaxies, and each of those galaxies can hold millions of stars. Within our solar system, so our planets revolving around the sun, we are located in part of the Milky Way galaxy, which is just one of those 100 billion galaxies, which is part of our universe. Now, when it comes to studying the universe, there's two main areas we can think of. So, astronomy is the overall study of everything outside of Earth's atmosphere, so basically everything in outer space. But there is a specific branch of astronomy called cosmology. And cosmology focuses on how the universe began, what the universe is made of, and how the universe is still continuing to change even today and going into the future. So there's a couple of different tools we can use to study outer space. The first one is optical telescopes. So these are used to observe objects such as stars and galaxies that use light rays. So when you think of a telescope, this is probably what you're thinking of. It's the most common type. And modern day optical telescopes are really amazing in that they can be used to study almost any part of the universe, even though it is absolutely huge. But optical telescopes don't tell us everything we know because not all parts of space have light. So that is where we have radio telescopes. And radio telescopes use radio waves to study objects in space. So some objects like pulsars and quasars don't give off visible light. So we can't study them with optical telescopes because they don't have light rays. But they do give off radio waves. So radio telescopes allow us to study these types of objects. The other type of instrument we have is spectrographs. So these allow us to measure the exact wavelengths of light given off by objects. So visible light can be divided into all the different colors of the rainbow. This is known as the color spectrum. And on the low wavelength side or the short wavelength side is blue light. And going all the way up to the other end on the high wavelength side is red light. So we can go ahead and divide all light that we have into the different colors of the rainbow. Now, the reason why this is important is each chemical element that we know of has a unique pattern of light. So we look at sodium down below, we kind of have that bright teal blue, some kind of greenish yellow, yellow, and red lines. Hydrogen has kind of a purple, violet, blue, and then red line. So every element has a unique pattern. So if we can go ahead and measure the exact wavelengths of light that we are getting from different parts of outer space, we can actually determine the elemental composition of those objects, which is really handy since we actually can't go to most of outer space to collect physical samples. But this gives us a really good idea what distant planets and distant stars are made out of. Okay, so I hope this helps. We're going to dive more into the history of the universe in our next video, so stay tuned. Bye, everyone.